What up, YouTube? Okay, so here's the question. What types of websites are best for AdSense? You know, this is really a complicated question. It depends a lot on the publisher's experience building websites, developing content, what their history is. The basics here are, you're going to need to get a lot of traffic. And more often than not, when it comes to AdSense sites, that traffic's going to have to come from the search engines in order to remain compliant with Google's terms of service and avoid reviews and things along those lines. You can get a lot of traffic from social networks, but it takes a lot of work, because social networks, think of it this way, social networks are a grinder. You constantly have to be producing content for these social networks because the content's not an archive. It doesn't live forever. Think about this. When was the last time you saw a post from a page from 2 years ago? Never, right? Or maybe occasionally, but not very often. Usually when you see posts on Facebook and social networks, that post has just been made in the past day or two. And so for your site that has AdSense on it to continue to get traffic from the social networks, you're going to spend more time trying to produce content for the social networks than you will working on your site and making money. So ultimately, you're going to be looking for a website and a website topic that can get a lot of traffic from the search engines, because that's just something that's going to continue to come. Unless you have another means to generate traffic that acts kind of like a content archive of sorts, kind of like YouTube does. So what we're looking for is to develop a site that offers evergreen content. Evergreen content is content that remains relevant for years to come. Content that is just, it's valuable, and that doesn't really ever end. So you need evergreen content, and you need that content to be centered around keyword phrases or topics that a lot of people search for. Furthermore, those keyword phrases can't really have commercial intent. They should be information-centric or information-based, because keyword phrases that are centered around commercial intent, Google is going to tend to serve results to the user that feature things for sale. So with that having been said, what are we looking for here? We should be looking at keyword phrases or clusters, as I like to think of them, that have, 30, 40, 50,000 searches for them any given month. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take, I love to use boots as an example. I don't know why. Some people use different things. I use boots. So let's say we have boots. Boots is going to be too big. You're not going to rank for boots. Just forget it. So what's the next one? Work boots. You're not going to rank for that. Google's going to return, search results where people can buy work boots. So how about how to buy work boots, or what are the best work boots to buy? Those might be better queries, but it's probably not going to have the overall traffic volume you need to really devote the time to developing a good piece of content around it. So let's go even broader. Let's think about, let's change gears. Let's go to pawn shops. I don't know. How do pawn shops work? Maybe, I bet that probably only has, maybe 5,000 to 7,000 searches a month. Let's go with, I don't know, how much do pawn shops pay? Here's a good one, because I bet that there's a lot of long tails to that. How much do pawn shops pay for electronics? How much do pawn shops pay for jewelry? How much do pawn shops pay for TVs? How much do pawn shops pay for laptops? How much do pawn shops pay for blah, 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 blah? When you combine that whole cluster, that's probably a good grouping of keyword phrases to develop content around. It's informational based, and it's going to have the search engine volume you need in total to devote the time to develop a piece of detailed long form content that you can then display ads on, and would probably be somewhat evergreen as long as you don't go and try and list like specific prices, and will live in the search engines for a period of time. So that's, when you're thinking about what type of website to build to deploy Google AdSense on, that's really what you're looking for, informational based. And it has to be around content that you can then rank in the search engines and get traffic from for a period of time to come. Furthermore, it should have content where you can build clusters of keywords into a single piece of content. You don't want to develop content around a phrase or search term that only has 500 searches a month. You want these big volume clusters, and then you build your site around those large volume clusters, and you promote the content from there. And I guess really that's the next big consideration is after you build this content, you're going to have to promote it. So what are you going to do? What's your game plan? You have to build your content knowing that you're going to have to almost sell this to somebody to get links or to get traffic or get exposure. So this content has to have an audience. Above and beyond people just searching for it, there should be some active communities that discuss this topic. So I don't think that exists for pawn shops, so that really was a poor example in that context. But you need to dig in and really kind of think about where you're going to promote this content. Who are you going to get exposure from? Who are you going to get links from? That needs to be a consideration. So I guess in summary, it has to be informational based, has to be information that's evergreen or lasting for a period of time. And it has to be content where above and beyond searchers that are just looking for that information, that you will be able to promote that article to someone who actually has an adjoining or similar web property that would be interested in linking to your content or sharing your content with their readership, okay? Other than that, there's not much to it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll see you next time. Bye.